Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video over on the channel by the name of LeaIsChill. Today we are returning to check out a bunch of games because today I wanted to rebrand an old series I used to have called Cool Ass Shit I Found This Week and change it to Gacha Tourist. So what this will mean is in the future we'll be trying to cover a bunch of different gachas over here. Kind of just doing like a generalized like news cycle pretty much on either every Friday or every other Friday to be able to catch up with a lot of the content that's been around for all of these games that I kind of keep my finger on the pulse of, you know? So I think it'll be fun, and honestly I think there's going to be a lot of enjoyment to be had with just how much intriguing stuff there is out there. And obviously I have a lot to say about different topics and stuff like that, so I guess let's just go ahead and get into it. Here, one sec. See you guys right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into this. And obviously, if you're new here, you haven't actually touched a gacha or you don't really know what a gacha is, let me just give a quick little rundown of it, just so I can get on the same page. A gacha is basically one of these little toy roulettes you can see on screen right now, where you would put a quarter or a loonie or a toonie, I'm Canadian, into a machine and twist it, and when you finish twisting it, you'll get a random toy capsule from the machine. The machine has everything, so I'm gonna use Pokemon as an example. It has everything from Arceus, the best and craziest god of all time, to a really shitty Pichu, who's covered in poop and is found in the sewers of Unova. I guess Eevee would have been better. But you can get anything on the spectrum between these two incredible or awful things. And so you're basically playing these games to be able to grind and grind and grind to be able to pull on the main banners and get the new characters as they come out. Because as a live service game, every new character that's dropped tends to be a modicum better than the old characters ever were. And so power creep just kind of takes over and steps up the ladder over and over. And it goes crazier and crazier. And so we're at the point where a lot of these gachas are hitting like 10 years, like 5 years for some of them that are a little bit newer. And they're now power creeping into crazy territories. And almost every single crazy update, it's either the best celebration of all time or they're falling apart and losing it. And it's really wild to watch. And so I'm endlessly curious about this whole live service game phenomena and everything they do here to kind of sell themselves to people. And so we're just going to kind of go through a bunch of different games that I personally have kind of kept my finger on the pulse on. And we're going to see kind of how it goes today. So we'll be starting off with a couple of kind of things that I just wanted to chat about because I find them to be pretty interesting. So Summoner War is a game that I personally have not touched whatsoever. I've watched videos by a guy named Schizophrenic Gamer a couple of times, and I've kind of checked out different videos over the years, but it seems like they've had a really, really shitty 10th anniversary, and that was like a couple of weeks ago. And so they had Jujutsu Kaisen come out as a collab. They had an awful 10th anniversary. And then right after 10th anniversary, they announced a Demon Slayer collaboration special countdown event. And so they're now running a collab right away, back to back with the original drop of JJK. And a lot of people are very, very mad. I think it's mostly just because they're kind of exhausting resources. They're making things more kind of pay to play. They're making it harder to kind of stay kept up on a lot of the games. And Summoner's War is one of those games where you could play it for like half of the lifespan of the game, like 5 full years, and you could still not have a max limit break character that actually helps you in the meta. And so it really is a whale heavy game where you need to get lucky, and it has mostly PvP as far as I can tell. At least that's where everyone cares about the content of. And so Demon Slayer coming out is going to be cool. I have absolutely no fucking interest in it because this game is just not for me. I also kind of don't like the art style. So obviously Demon Slayer's coming, yada, yada, yada. I wanted to show this trailer, of which is the Jujutsu Kaisen collab that dropped a few months ago on this. check it out with me. So, obviously that just lagged, unfortunately, but... So, when you think of Jujutsu Kaisen, I think of, like, semi-realistic, I think of, like, very on-model. It's really chibi-fied here. And it feels kind of weird, like babyface Gojo. Itadori that looks like he could be an Honor of Kings character. And they're fighting fucking, like, dragons and shit. Yeah, Nikke. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the art style just does not lend itself well to Jujutsu Kaisen. It actually might do better with Demon Slayer's art style, because they are a little bit more chibi in the original anime, right? But this is wild. And then I think they also did drop a Sukuna, so I wonder if they're going to tease that. You're just fighting gods. But like the actual art itself isn't that bad. I am a pretty big fan of like this sort of style of shading. I don't know how to describe it. And obviously they did give a free Sukuna here throughout the event. And so they do seem to be pretty generous. It's just, I don't like the art style. The gameplay is pretty straightforward as far as I can tell. It's just kind of the turn-based combat. And obviously, for me, I think turn-based combat, I really need to fall in love with the series that it's from or something like that to be able to enjoy it, because I've played so many different turn-based games in my life. If I was going to pick up one and play it, it probably is not my first choice to go to a gacha game that's an original IP. And that is just a fact. Honkai Star Rail is a little bit different because at least they have like a story going. And the old Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains game, while I did enjoy it, it just wasn't there for me. And so I think this game kind of falls in the same space for me. Even if they are going to be doing a bunch of anime collabs going forward, I just don't have that interest in it. And so it's cool. I actually do want to keep on covering this because I do like the art. I find it to be cool when these big games that are like 10 years in lifespan decide to start doing collabs all the time. But we'll keep an eye on it. It's just Summoner's War. So yeah. I actually wanted to check out the trailer for Arknights Endfield. So if you guys haven't been keeping up on the different announcements that have kind of dropped for gacha games in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of hype around several games. Wuthering Waves was a really big one that came out and it was explosive. I'm trying to think of the top of my head. Other ones, they're lost to me. But Arknights Endfield was basically the response of the Arknights team. Arknights being the tower defense gacha RPG on mobile. That's basically like the only real gacha tower defense. And it's actually really fun. I do really enjoy it. And I kind of read the entire story of it up to the point that I got to. And they are now making their own action RPG, more akin to Punishing Gray Ravens than Wuthering Waves. And so it's going to be a lot more combo heavy as far as I can tell, and it is fully 3D modeled. And the Arknights designs, they're fucking fire. So let's check it out. Here, I'm going to just make myself a little bit smaller at the moment. There we go. And all the characters inside Arknights, they're kind of built with different animal traits. And so you'll find like dragon girls and fluffy ears all the time. But I have not seen this trailer actually. Oh, put your thumb to it. Yeah, we're fucked. Endfield on the visor. There's probably the two main characters, huh? Akin to Wuthering Waves. This is a sick song. I hope I can use it. Yeah, and they're using the same sort of UI features that Arknights does. It feels very like futuristic and in-depth. I don't know how to describe how they do it. It's like heavy on the engineering. Yeah, cat girl. And she's a Pip-Boy over the front line. And look at this actual gameplay. This art style is like perfect. Wait, she's a bad guy? Huh. Yeah, I really want to check this out. Personally, I really do love action RPGs. Devil May Cry, like all of those style of games, Bayonetta. Look at this. It reminds me a little bit of like Scarlet Nexus as well. I think this is going to be so fun. There's a Panda Man. This actually, you know what this reminds me specifically of? Code Vein. If anyone's played that. And there's even like ultimates inside Code Vein, right? That's kind of sick. I like that cell shading. I don't think she's wearing that cape. Yo, Dragon Girls, though. My entire Arknights account is centered around getting Dragon Girls, and I'm not gonna, like, I'm not gonna fake it. Dragon Girls are the shit. Good shit. And so they officially announced the beta test for mid-January, and I'm very curious to try this out. I actually do want to sign up for it, but I would have to put my details into this. I'm probably just going to leave this up for later so I can check it out, because I really do want to give it a shot. I think that this game is going to end up being one of the more fun ones that are out there, because Punishing Gray Raven, I think that it's very straightforward once you get into the gameplay loop of it. And this one, I wonder if they're going to put more of those like tower defense and more in-depth mechanics to make the combat more engaging. Like you're dealing with constant different things the enemies are doing, so you have to actually pay attention a little bit more. I think that is the way to really balance around action RPGs to make them more interesting. Obviously, you can master Devil May Cry, but if this game were to have it where they're like, there's water filling up this room, and so you have to put something down to block this corner so that you can fight in this arena until the end of this boss fight, I think it could have a lot of depth and fun to it. Regardless, Arknights has some of the best designs out there, and I'm looking forward to them making their own RPG. So let's go ahead and check it out in the future. I am going to subscribe, and we will be back here soon. Okay, I have this tab open to show you guys this random ass game. I wasn't ready to close the last tab and see Booba. Hello, Master. So this is Eversoul. This game dropped about, I guess, 2 years ago, literally second anniversary. And it's basically just a very straightforward auto battler where it's just in-depth mechanics and build your shit, read a bunch of shit, pay slight attention, and then let it grind on your side of your desk for fucking forever. And I was curious about the second anniversary event, so I wanted to watch this trailer. I probably shouldn't say that I am now more interested after this first frame, but I'm gonna press play now. Oh. Oh, I got a run back too, great. Oh, it's so cursed. Actually, it's kind of cool to see it be announced in the original Korean, honestly. Most games will still do Japanese for the main trailers. Those are big booba on the right. Holy, she has a light cone. Yeah. I think a lot of games just kind of fall into this pit trap where they just start making more and more and more girls, and it's just every single possible girl you can think of has some sort of form, some sort of dress, some sort of yukata, a wedding dress. They're in office attire, they're in lab coats, they're in school uniforms, they're in maid outfits. They're just anything they can use to sell to you, they will. And this is definitely one of those. You will be the savior. So English. Oh, I'm kind of already done with this. Wait, I like that design. I like it less now that I've seen her eyes. Man. Maybe I'm kind of into dead eyes, because I saw this and I was like, oh, she looks like she's dead inside. And then I saw her eyes and I was like, she's too full of life. It's kind of fucked up. Eversoul, I think, will probably end up being around for at least 5 years. Looking at games like these, it really does depend on the audience it gains early on and the level of FOMO that they end up being able to kind of bake into every event. And I think that they actually have a really good business model for Eversoul. And so this is one of those games that I think actually goes the extra mile, even though it probably shouldn't have. There's a couple other games that kind of made it to 5 years, made it further, just being cute girls doing good fights. And I kind of respect it, honestly. It's a hustle. Princess Connect, the Crunchyroll game, did not make it more than a year. So Eversoul making it to 2 years, you've got to respect it. And regardless, I am probably never going to touch this game again. I touched it in the first like 6 months, and it just kind of is here. But I wanted to talk about it because I think that there's always going to be a couple of these style of games on the App Store, and I've always wondered who it's for. But when you see the revenue numbers, it's clear that it's for a very dedicated and determined group of people that are just in love with something about it. And it could be the gameplay flow, it could be the story, it could be the way that the characters interact with you. Something hooked them. And it's kind of present all over the App Store right now. It's wild to me. It's just cool. I'm not into it. They did, so I just had this tab open. They basically dropped one of the strongest characters of all time into, please don't have porn. No porn. Okay. They dropped one of the strongest characters of all time into Genshin Impact, and she looks absolutely rad. Most anniversaries, they give out 10 free pulls. This anniversary, or this isn't even an anniversary, it's just like a random event. They gave out 20 pulls to try and incentivize people to come back and check it out. She has a motorcycle. She goes like Super Saiyan, like Yang does inside Ruby. It seems like she's a rad character. But Genshin Impact being desperate enough to give everyone that free 20 pulls, I think is kind of a sign of the times, because Genshin's always been this like super stingy, kind of rough to play, weird open world RPG in which I've made it to Inazuma and the last 5 quests of Inazuma twice. And I just haven't been able to get over that hump when playing Genshin. And I think it's because I'm a completionist. I think it's because that I collected everything on the map before I did. And so when I was finishing Inazuma, the feeling in my chest wasn't a pride for having finished a region. It was anxiety that when I finish that next quest, I unlock Sumeru, which is a whole new 130 collectibles to get throughout an entire map. And I gave up. I was done with it. And so I always wonder kind of what sort of model Genshin will have to present to a generalized audience to be able to get players to stay invested as we get into now 5 years into the game's lifespan. And it seems like they are becoming more generous. They're dropping characters that are a lot more stylized. As I said, she has Super Saiyan hair, so you can see here, she like goes fully Super Saiyan. And they also have characters that can fly now. They have characters that like instantly have free reactions with other characters. And so the power creep is absolutely insane in this game. I don't think there's a reality where I touch Genshin Impact unless I were to do some sort of streaming challenge where I was like, I am going to sit down and play Genshin for 4 hours a day, every day for like 30 days and see if I can catch up. Because if I wouldn't do that, I think that there's just a reality in which I will never see past the end of Inazuma. I don't know any story from that point onwards. And I don't really have that like burning desire to learn more about the world. Because every spoiler that I see kind of seems like the same that I've always seen. And obviously I just kind of pay attention to online forums and stuff, but it's kind of unfortunate. You'd hope there to be like big swells in content and stuff, but it just hasn't happened from what I've seen. Regardless, she's rad. She is a really cool character, and obviously she can jump me anytime. She is very feisty, and is that good shit? Good design, good design. Let's go ahead and move on. This one's a weird one. So, I don't know if you guys have heard the story of One Piece Bounty Rush, but there was previously a One Piece game called One Piece Bounty Rush that came out in January of, it was either 2018 or 2019. It must have been I think it was 2017 January it came out, and it basically had no fucking content. It was an empty game that had nothing to do, no systems to participate with, and a baseline shitty PvP. And so they closed the game for 1 full year and completely redeveloped it into a 4v4 capture the flag game with no PvE content. And it's a smash hit now. We are now 6 years in the lifespan of One Piece Bounty Rush, and it's doing great pretty much every single month that it's selling EX characters. Sword Art Online variant Showdown did the same thing. Last year, in early 2024, I want to say it was like late 2023 actually, they closed down the game after releasing for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they basically had a bare bones combat system, which was just a giant circle arena with one boss, and you would just be swapping characters barely and not doing much. They decided to revamp the entire game and re-release it right here. Now, I played the game as it came back, and I checked out... Oh my god, why is the quality so bad? It's at full quality. Okay, I guess that's better. The UI now looks a lot more in-depth, honestly, compared to how it used to be. But they just seem to have implemented a gear/relic system, meaning you have to grind out relics for your characters now. And I don't care about your shitty, like, 2000s commercial. Every character has 2 skills, and you can constantly swap, and so it is pretty much like a 3-character game. They added multiplayer battles so you can do, like, raids together. That is kind of cool. I think that's kind of the core that Sword Art Online kind of needs here. Main story is fully voiced. That's cool. But beyond that, I think if someone isn't super invested in the story, I don't think there's a reality where they're going to enjoy this all that much. As far as I could tell as well, there was no auto button. And so you pretty much have to play exactly what you see on screen right here constantly. It is just mash normal attack, skill, swap, mash normal attack, skill, swap. And you're just doing that constantly. And it did not feel that fun to me even now. Even after like a full year of re-releasing, it just seems like they came out and they were like, this isn't a product. Like, we're not selling anything. We're just showing people action figures that are slapping each other in the face. But there's no systems to grind. There's no, like, character intrigue. There's no differences between a lot of the characters. There's no multiplayer. And so they straight up closed, reopened, and then came back and just don't have a lot new to say. And so I don't know if I'm going to be touching this game. Honestly, I played, like, what I would say is, like, the first hour, 2 hours. Looks like this is gonna be the Layla girl here in the last slot. I just couldn't get into it. And obviously Sword Art Online games, there's a lot of them out there. There's the one that plays like an actual MMO. I think it was called... I actually forget. That's even more embarrassing. It was like Memory Fragment was the vertical one. I don't even remember what it was called. But it's on Steam, and I played it for a little while, and it was cool. But I think just the way that they sell Sword Art Online right now and the way that it plays, it just does not work as a game at the moment. And that's so funny, considering the source material and what they've done with it. It's just weird. But that's Sword Art Online, and it is back if you were curious to play a random 3D action RPG. But I feel like Endfield's going to play so much better than that. But here, I wanted to talk about this little thing. So, do you guys know what Eminence in Shadow is? It's basically a Crunchyroll game that is a really hardcore turn-based RPG. And they've dropped at least 3 HoloLive characters in the last few months. Actually, this looks like it's back in February last year. So as far as I know, there's been at least 3 HoloLive collabs up to this point, and they've just announced a 4th one, and they're adding the Law Plus girl that is one of the most recent HoloLive girls that kind of dropped, and it is so surreal to me that it's gotten so much. But I think Crunchyroll's kind of obsessed with collabs, and so being able to use HoloLive the way that they are, it kind of works for everyone, I think. With having 4 HoloLive characters, it's really weird to me that they also have the Fire Force characters. They recently did a collab in which they dropped... Here. They dropped all of the Fire Force characters as well. It was actually quite cool. Tamaki was a taunting unit because of the Lucky Lecher thing. She, like, people want to go towards her because haha, sex, woo. The art was a lot. You can see something there, but obviously they added the rad ass. I was about to call him Beniamino. I think that's because of Tower of God Season 2. Benimaru. They added to this, and he definitely deserved a slot. He is absolutely rad. This game, I'm surprised that it's thriving as well as it is, but I'm kind of happy to see it. I just didn't find the turn-based combat fun enough. And so I'm going to keep an eye on this game. Obviously, it's going to keep on releasing collabs and stuff, and it is really pretty. Like, this art style, while I'm not a big fan of, like, this random HoloLive girl, that design is just like perfect for this 3D style. And they all have ultimates and stuff. Yeah. That is happening. And so that game is just kind of sitting in the background and gaining more and more. Here we have the Goddess of Victory, Nikke, Stellar Blade official collaboration trailer. Both of these games are made by the same company, and so it kind of just made sense to have them together. But as we can see here, they're doing it very soon, and it seems to be just she's gonna be added with a sword and just gonna like be slashing. Because Nikke is obviously a cover shooter. So we'll find out. I think they do have already a couple of katana characters inside it that just kind of slash and put it away, like judgment cuts pretty much, just so that'll be cool. I did want to just talk about this because they are re-releasing the Evangelion collab inside Nikke, and so Nikke does seem to be just having a bunch of collaborations with important stuff, and it's cool to me. In a previous cast of episode, I had chatted about the Evangelion collab, and them re-releasing already is kind of weird. It's been like less than a year, but hey, if it makes money, it makes money. We'll keep cooking. Here I have a kind of interesting one. So this is Heaven Burns Red. I haven't personally put any time into this. I've seen a little bit of gameplay. It kind of reminds me of Honkai Star Rail. So if you look here, you can kind of see exactly how it looks. It's basically a 6-character Honkai Star Rail where you're going with nothing but girls, because in this world, guys do not exist. And I imagine most of what sells this game is people being really into the story and what the story's set up as. And I recently learned that the story is very similar to an old anime by the name of Angel Beats. And so, to my surprise, let me actually get the actual number here. This game is about to have its third Angel Beats collab on JP. The first two were released over the last like 2 years, and they seem to be just kind of adapting every single character from Angel Beats as long as they aren't male. And so the first two collabs did 3 characters each. This next one's going to be doing 4 characters. And this is actually by the same team behind Arknights. And so you can put a little bit of faith in it that the story itself is likely to be pretty well written. I think that Arknights has a really good story because of that as well. And that's probably what they are best at over at Yostar. So I would be curious to see what the actual collab story would be like for Heaven Burns Red. Global has not gotten a single Angel Beats collab. And so if they do end up dropping the Angel Beats collab on Global in the next like couple of months, I probably will end up touching this game and trying it out just to be able to show the Angel Beats story that they released, because I actually love that series. It's one of the only animes I've ever cried at. It's a weird one, but it was lit. It was great. Really well written. The final stinger pretty much kicks you in the fucking ass, and it's great. And so I want to see what this game kind of develops into. We'll probably touch on this game February if the rumors that the first Angel Beats collab dropping then are true. But I'll keep an eye out and let you guys know. Wuthering Waves got 2.0. I played through all of 1.0 and 1.1. I pretty much did the entire first map. I got a good foundation of what it was like, and I was like, I'm having the same problem with Genshin, where when they release a new map or release new stuff, I'm not going to want to grind any of this. And so it definitely sucks that there's just no viable way to play every single one of these games. It's weird to say, but you just don't have the time to be able to play both all of Wuthering Waves and all of Genshin and all of Star Rail, for example. Something has to give. And both Genshin and Wuthering Waves are the things I gave for me. And I think I did like the art style of Wuthering Waves better than Genshin's. But I just, for the amount of grinding it was, for the amount that it wants you to do, for the amount of travel, it just didn't feel that fun to me anymore. And I wonder if it's just I'm broken on open world games. Obviously, I did play all the like old Assassin's Creeds. I played every Assassin's Creed up to the end of Black Flag. And so I am pretty exhausted with the whole format of just grind and grind and grind and grind and get every collectible. But at least with Assassin's Creed, there's a sense of like, and we're done. And you can chill. But that feeling of we're done collecting pigeons doesn't stop in these games. And it drives me fucking nuts. It is like mind goblins. But hey, Wuthering Waves 2.0, they'll probably have an extra like 6 hours to 10 hours of content. And so if you're into the game, I'm sure it's going to be very exciting. And obviously the new designs are A+. This new goat girl, good shit. She has very tired eyes and I love her. I don't know how to put it better than that, but that is the one. But hey, that is Wuthering Waves. Here, I want to talk about Dragon Ball Legends. As of this week, they've basically been dropping Legends Festival over the last month or so. And so they did Vegito Blue and Goku Black in the first part. They did Daima Goku, Super Saiyan from the new series, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku from the Majin Buu fight. And so those were all really cool banners. And then, the character I care about most personally, they release a trailer for Beast Gohan. I'm also a big fan of these art brush styles. This one probably is like the worst one they've done. But look at this!
You have no hope of winning.
You have no hope of winning. Jeez, that grovel. Gravel on the throat? I don't know how to put it better. Personally, I play Dragon Ball Legends, personally, mostly just to get like an extra little bit of dopamine on the side and play with a bunch of Dragon Ball Z characters. I'm a really big fan of DBZ. I think that it just kind of gives my brain that little like kick in that I'm a big fan of. But it very much is like a power fantasy thing. And so Beast Gohan being the current height of Dragon Ball Z, I think makes him the most exciting character for me. I did come back for Dragon Ball Legends for the Blue Beast Gohan back at the other Legends Fest. I came back for the Red Beast Gohan at the last Legends Fest. And I came back for the Yellow Beast Gohan right here. And he just styles on people. Dude, the chin grab, like, there's some spice in that. Like, if you use that on Videl, she would be melting. Second form Cell is kind of funny to see. Is it because he looks like Cell Max? Is that what they're trying to do here? That's kind of funny. Because there is no Cell Max in the game. But yeah, these Ultras, obviously, they are just going to look very similar to other characters. It's just, that's his green card, he used his blue card earlier and grabbed the chin. This is his ultimate here. This one looks rad. The big spark, like the special beam canning does. And an auto counter on all rushes and ultimate arts, which is crazy. And finally, the free ultimate that instant kills pretty much everyone in the game right now.
You are no big deal.
You are no big deal. In a game like Dragon Ball Legends, PvP develops to a point where they're basically selling problems and solutions, problems and solutions, problems and solutions. And so the problem would be people are one-shotting people with ultimates in one hit. Solution, this guy auto counters it. Vegito Blue right now, his main problem is that he infinitely combos and pretty much gets an instant nullification of all countering gauges. His answer is going to be reductions to ki. And so they're constantly just releasing characters that are like stupid broken. Like this character right here, he probably 3 cards most characters in the game if they aren't built defensively and don't have some sort of damage reduction. And so in PvP right now, people are running pretty much him and then a bunch of tanky units and then just kind of grinding out things. And it is very wild to me. But getting to 6 years into a lifespan of a game that's PvP centric, I think that it is just natural that things will get harder and worse. And I don't think, is there even, this is a rush, because it has to be a rush because there is no second form Cell with an ultimate. That's kind of funny. But the characters are so pretty, and like these impact frames like this right here is great. It just sucks that it's inside a game of which is so frustrating to play at times because of the characters they've released in the past. And I think it is fascinating to me to see pretty much, I would say this is one of the only live service PvP games that does not care about balance all that much. And so for a lot of what you see inside this game, there are just surges of crazy, crazy power creep. And it's fascinating to me to see how they have to solve it to be able to make a game that's still functional after that. It feels like they probably don't have much more in them for power creep. I would guess Dragon Ball Legends probably closes right after 8th anniversary. That's my presumption. Obviously, that's like 2 years, like a year and a half still. from now. But I just don't see a reality where they can continue to keep this power creep and keep it in that way. At the same time, I'm encouraging it, right? Like, I'm encouraging the power creep because seeing this guy right here makes me very happy. And it's a weird catch-22.
You were no big deal.
God damn, he's cool, though. Beast Gohan, my favorite design in DBZ right now. And that is just the fact of it. Here's a kind of cool one. So, I've played this Isekai slime game probably 4 times in the last couple of years. The first time I gave it like a good week, and it was like, I'm not really a big fan. Second time I came back for the first anniversary to get the new UR unit and try it out. It was kind of cool. Same systems and everything. I just wasn't really kind of sold on it. It is like just a turn-based RPG again. They've had a couple of collabs since then, but this one's the one that caught my attention. Do you guys know what this is? I mean, obviously it's... Freiren gets isekai'd to the slime world. Spend 10 days with Freiren and her party. Oh, they have a dual ultimate. Yeah! I would really want to watch the collab story for this. They look great in the art style. Is he a character? Or is it just a cutscene? I wonder. Oh, they actually have a statue of him. So, it seems to be they're announcing the first collaboration between Freiren and Slime. It started back in December, so if it was going for 10 days like the trailer says, technically that means that it's already over as of when I'm recording this. Obviously December 20th, 10 days after that would have been the 30th, and it's already the new year. But this is sick. And seeing part 1 kind of inspires me to think like, oh wow, they have a new Milim too. Cute. You get Stark for free because no one wants to pull for him. Oh no! Wait, I didn't see that. Let's do it. Wait, he literally says the same thing that Freiren says whenever she gets stuck. That's cute. I like it. I probably will pick up this game when I see the next Freiren collab drops, because I really want to see what the story is going to be about. There's just a lot of fun stuff to explore between these two series. I personally haven't seen past the end of Season 2 of Slime, but Season 2 was obviously fucking lit. It was absolutely incredible. Season 3 I have yet to watch, but I really want to check it out at some point. And Freiren is one of the most goated animes of the last couple of years and deserves so much more attention. And so if they end up dropping, like, okay, I got one character, right? Yubel Freiren. Got one character I like in Freiren. Not that version. Her. Unfortunately, people have been calling her Armpit Lady, because unfortunately that has become half of her personality. Just how it goes, unfortunately, at times. But this is the character I would want to pull for most if they end up doing this in the second collab. Her power is like the sickest thing in the fucking world to me. I find it to be super cool. The like swirling power around is just absolutely rad. But hey, if they drop her, let's hopefully try to check out the second collab with Slime when that comes out. And this will be our final little thing to check out for today. Obviously, it's been a long-ass video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this. I think in the future, it'll be much, much shorter. I just wanted to check out everything that I found intriguing over the last little while And obviously it kind of stacked up because I've never actually done an episode like this yet. So, hey, BBS dropped 3 new characters from the new season. And it's kind of funny. Every single one of these characters is from a different part of the series. So the Ichigo in the middle is from season 1 of Thousand Year Blood War, episode 12, where he shows up and saves the Soul Society from Yawatch, right? It's right after Yamamoto dies. It's a rather dramatic scene. The Senjumaru on the right is from the season finale of Core 2. And so Ichigo's from the first season, Senjumaru's from the second season, Askin's from the season finale of the third one. And so what this seems to be is a set of characters for a New Year special featuring one character from every core of Thousand Year Blood War that's released so far. Every one of them being from episode, I guess, for Ichigo it's 12, Senjumaru it's 12, for Askin it's technically 14, because 14 is where Core 3 ends right now. But that design with his like shrift is only shown inside episode 14 of Thousand Year Blood War. And so let's check out their actual skills here and have a good time with it. Makes a bunch of balls, pole jumps, and then shoots. This character is basically just, hey, PvP. He's a normal attacker, he has a boost, and most of what you'll be using him for is going to be that. Inside BBS, there's kind of just this massive split between PvP and PvE units, and most of the time you'll never be using characters like this on normal levels. It's just a symptom of how the game's been built up to this point, but I do find the style of gameplay to be pretty cool, and look how he hits. Those swings, I feel like, were actually really good in PvP. Apparently, he's like the new God King of PvP, and so I got a copy of him. I'm looking forward to that. He's cool. I feel like I like Askin a lot more now that he's animated. Now that he's been shown and is kind of like this funny, goofy guy, he might be one of my favorite Stern Ritters. He's just built well. I like him. All right, Senjumaru, you're next. So this right here is actually fully original from the Thousand Year Blood War anime. In the end of season 2, they showed her Bankai for the first time, and every one of the other Squad Zero members had to kill themselves to be able to let her do it. And so it was pretty hardcore. She rolls out the red carpet for you. There you go. Kind of sad they don't do anything else with it, but yeah, that's the Bankai. Then she just has a bunch of full screen attacks. Just boom, boom, boom. Cool effect on it. Every one of the attacks has a different cloth that comes down. Oh wait, every one of her attacks has different status effects. Freeze, shock, lacerate, and suck. Kind of cool. It reminds me of what I thought Tokinata was at one point. Wait, they don't show the EX move? Why would you not show the EX move? I mean, sure, I guess. Whatever. I got her as well. I think that she's quite cool. Honestly, she kind of feels bare bones for what she was supposed to release as, but I don't know if BBS has the ability to make characters any more in-depth than they currently do. It's just a fact of the matter that, like, what you're seeing here, full screen third, massive second, and good forward, like, this pretty much like a beam first, is like the kit that most characters need to be able to become super crazy. And so she's built like a great character. She's like easily some of the best styles of attacks that you can get inside a unit. It's just, the flashiness has hit a peak, pretty much, is the way I would put it. And BBS, they're trying really hard to make these characters as fancy as they can. And I think it's actually working. A couple of these are like really cool. It's just, it doesn't give me that dopamine to see these for some reason. Not like Dokkan does and stuff like that. I don't know if it's the chibi art style or what, but just kind of grated on me eventually. And this Ichigo is easily the best and coolest Ichigo that we have seen so far. They gave him black and white Getsugas. I'm going to go ahead and ignore that guy talking over it. Can I just see the actual showcase? Okay. Well, let's watch this for his actual attacks. So his first is just a straight up beam forward, but look at that effect. The black and white Getsuga. Oh, I'm so salty. The original True Shikai Ichigo inside this game had red and blue as his two colors for his dual Shikai. And I think that one fits so well for Ichigo. They changed it to pure yellow inside the anime, and it makes me so salty. Ichigo then, first again, just wiping out entire waves of enemies. He has one of the craziest... Not only does he have a bonus killer... That was a third, by the way. Just nukes a screen. First again. He has 3 of the best strong attacks you can possibly have in a character. He has a bonus weaken inflict. And he has a crazy multiplier on every attack. And so every time he beats 80 enemies, he also gets an extra special move. Damn. His second strong attack is also a superior strong attack. So his second is kind of just a poke forward, and it does a huge effect behind. New type of strong attack deals significantly greater damage compared to regular strong attacks, has a slightly longer cooldown. For his second. Okay, interesting. EX move is a free crazy boost. That must have been the case for Senjumaru as well then. Yeah, I ended up getting this character as well. I actually got pretty lucky on the banner, I guess. But this Ichigo, I love his style. And unfortunately, he's so straightforward, right? Like, he's just attack, 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 wait, attack, 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 wait. I don't know how they can make it more in-depth to make it more enjoyable. This is the extent of what we're at, pretty much. His melees are also quite cool. He just... Kind of reminds me of Chikara Daigeki, the one that he uses inside Bleach Soul... It's not Soul Resonance. Soul Resurrection. But yeah. I don't know. It's so hard for me to look at this. Let's watch his ultimate. Look at that! That's sick as fuck. Might be my favorite Getsuga in the series. Doom. The double impact frame really works for that. That's good directing. I'm a big fan of that. The explosion outwards. Tensho! Good stuff. That's going to wrap us up for now. Pretty much. I think Bleach Brave Souls is going to be a very, very likely game to lose the next couple of years. I probably think it dies before Dragon Ball Legends does. And so this is the year of the 10th anniversary of Bleach Brave Souls. And Bleach Brave Souls is obviously a big reason why the anime came back for 1,000 Year Blood War. And so it feels kind of bad to me to say, like, since 1,000 Year Blood War's actual anime has started, BBS has lost a lot of value for me. I've played it a little bit on the side, but it just isn't there anymore. The excitement for characters that never existed in other properties doesn't exist anymore because obviously we just have the anime now. And so they're just kind of selling the same characters over and over and making less and less changes to every single kit. And I just don't think it's going to survive after 10th anniversary because of it. I just don't see a reality where it's making enough money at the moment where it's going to be able to keep this up. And so if they did make 10th anniversary their big farewell celebration, I think that would be really exciting. They haven't done original characters since, I want to say 7th anniversary? Wait, no, 8th anniversary, because 8th anniversary was the Uryu. But since then, they've done only Thousand Year Blood War for the anniversaries, and it's been less exciting because of it. This game is at its best when it's adapting stuff that people have never seen inside Bleach, and is at its best whenever it's trying to make itself something that matters. A product of which is actually trying to say something or put out something for the fans of the series. And it's just not these days unless you're into like really, really kind of bad side stories with not a lot of good writing. I will keep an eye on Thousand Year Blood or Bleach Brave Souls. I think it feels so bad for me to talk about this game like this because obviously I was one of the biggest proprietors of how great this game was when it first dropped. And pretty much up until 7th anniversary, I was selling this game constantly on my channel because I thought it was one of the best games that's ever been out for gachas. And then it just didn't change, you know? It just kind of stayed the exact same and stagnated. And it wasn't that fun anymore, even though they're celebrating a big 10th anniversary thing here. It's wild. But guys, that is going to do it for our video today. We will be back hopefully next Friday or the Friday after that to do another episode of Gacha Tourist. If you guys did enjoy, please, please, please hit that like button and let me know if there's some sort of news that you know about inside of Gacha that came out since, let's say, December 20th that I didn't cover. Because if I missed it, I want to know. For now, thanks for watching, take it easy, and see you guys later. Bye-bye.